A kind but poor teacher fed a starving orphan, only for the boy to disappear from the village, leaving behind silence and sorrow. This is how it all began. Alice had just been transferred to Mapota Community Primary School. Today was her first day. She walked happily on the road, excited to see her new school. As she got closer to the school gate, she saw a boy standing by the side. He looked very sad. His school uniform was dirty, torn, and hanging loosely on his small body. Alice walked up to him and asked gently, "Why are you standing here? Why haven't you gone inside the school?" The boy looked down and said, "My clothes are torn. My classmates will laugh at me again. And I am very hungry." She asked softly, "When last did you eat?" The boy replied, "I was not given food at home since the day before yesterday." Alice was surprised. "Why didn't they give you food?" she asked. The boy sighed and said, "It's a punishment for my father." Alice was confused. What kind of father would do that? Why would anyone starve their child? But Alice didn't know the full truth. Junior didn't have a real father. His parents were gone. Alice felt sorry for him. She gently held his hand and led him to a small food place near the school. She used her money to buy him a plate of rice and stew. Junior looked at her with tears in his eyes. He grabbed a spoon and began to eat fast, like someone who was scared the food would disappear. After Junior finished eating, Alice smiled and said, "Come, let's go back to school now." But Junior shook his head. "I can't," he said quietly. "If I don't get a new school uniform, my classmates will laugh at me again. I won't be able to bear it." Alice thought for a while, then said kindly, "Okay, wait for me here. I'll go quickly and come back. Then I'll take you to the market and buy you a new uniform." Junior nodded. "I will wait," he said. But the moment Alice turned her back, something in Junior snapped. He looked left, then right, like a bird searching for a way out of a cage. Then, without a word, he turned and walked away, not to the school, not to his house, but into the unknown, into the wide, wide world, where no one was waiting and no one would call him back. Junior was tired of the schoolmates who mocked him, tired of his uncle who beat him, tired of a village where no one truly cared. He had made up his mind. He would leave and never return. So he walked and walked. Later that day, when school closed, Alice came back to the food place. But Junior was not there. She waited a bit, then thought, maybe he went home. So she went to her own house. But Junior did not go home. His uncle and the uncle's wife were already waiting for him at the house. The uncle stood with a hard face and said, "No matter how late he comes, I must punish him. He dares to disobey me again." They waited. Night came, but Junior never returned. The next morning, the uncle asked around. Someone told him that Junior was seen the day before with a new girl at school, a teacher who just transferred. The man rushed to school and found Alice. He shouted, "Where's my son?" Alice was surprised and confused. "I don't understand," she said. "Who are you talking about?" The man barked, "Junior, you were the last person seen with him in this village. Where is he?" Alice took a step back. "I only helped him. He was hungry and sad. I gave him food, that was all," she said softly. The uncle stormed out of the school compound, boiling with anger. He went straight to the police station. Meanwhile, the headmaster called Alice into his office. "What happened between you and Junior?" he asked. Alice explained everything. He looked hungry and tired. I gave him food and asked him to wait for me so I could take him to the market and buy a new uniform. But when I came back, he was gone. The headmaster rubbed his head, confused. You only helped a pupil, and now he has disappeared? This is serious and strange." As they were still talking, the uncle returned with a police officer beside him. He pointed at Alice and shouted, "That is her! She is not a teacher. She is a ritualist pretending to be a teacher. She has taken my son and hidden him somewhere." Alice stood up, shocked. Her voice shook. "I only helped the boy. I gave him food. That's all. I didn't do anything wrong." Tears filled her eyes. But the officer didn't listen. He arrested her and took her to the police station. And there, the questions began. "Where is Junior? What did you do to him? Are you working alone?" Alice could only cry and repeat, "I don't know. I just helped him." But far away from all the noise, the truth was different. After Alice left Junior at the restaurant, he wiped his mouth, stood up, and walked to the big yam market on the edge of the village. There, he saw a lorry being loaded with yams. Quietly, without anyone seeing him, he crept into the back of the lorry and hid between the sacks of yam. No one noticed. Not the driver, not the market women, not even the loaders. Junior had vanished, but not by magic. He had chosen to disappear. That morning, before Alice met him, Junior's uncle had given him a hard choice. "You must choose school or farm," the uncle said. "If you choose school, then you must leave this house forever." The uncle no longer wanted Junior to go to school. He only wanted him to work on the farm. But Junior's heart was in school. He wanted to learn, to read, to become someone better. And even life on the farm was full of pain. No matter how hard Junior worked, it was never enough. His uncle always complained. And when he was angry, he would cut fresh canes from the trees and flog Junior badly. So badly that his back burned with pain. So that morning, Junior made his decision. It was better to run away and enter the world than to live a life of beatings and sorrow. That's why, after Alice left him at the restaurant, Junior walked to the yam market and hid inside a lorry full of yams. The next day, the lorry reached its destination, a big, busy city. People moved up and down. Cars honked. Sellers shouted. Before the driver could even step down, Junior quietly jumped down from the lorry. He looked around. Tall buildings. Strange faces. No one he knew. No one to call his name. Junior was completely lost. He didn't know where to start. But one thing was sure. He was never going back to that village. Never. Meanwhile, at the police station, Alice was going through hell. The officers were harsh. Their voices were loud. Their faces were full of anger and suspicion. One of them slammed the table and shouted, "Do you even know what you're up against? If you don't bring out that boy, you could spend the rest of your life in prison." Another officer leaned in, eyes burning with doubt. "She thinks she can steal a child and then come here and tell us stories. How can you say you just bought food for a boy and he disappeared? I've worked in this village for more than 5 years. No child has ever gone missing." But no matter how much they shouted, threatened, or tried to break her, Alice stood by the truth. Her voice was low, but firm. "I only helped him. He was hungry and weak. That's all I did. I swear it." She was locked up overnight. The cold walls, the silence, the weight of fear pressed on her. But she held on her innocence like a shield. The next day, her husband and their young daughter arrived from their village. Her husband entered the station with tired eyes but strong steps. "Don't worry," he said softly. "I've put our house up for sale. I'll sell it and use the money to get you the best lawyers. We'll fight this. I won't let them destroy you." Alice's eyes widened. "Please don't do it," she begged through tears. "Don't sell our home. Don't do this because of me." But the husband shook his head slowly. "I won't stand and watch while you spend the rest of your life in prison. You did nothing wrong, and I will prove it." She tried to make him change his mind, but he refused. When it was time for them to leave, their daughter suddenly burst into tears. She clung to her mother's dress and shouted, "I won't go. I want to stay with Mummy. I want to sleep here with her." Alice tried to stay strong, but her heart broke into pieces. At first, she held back her tears. But the moment she hugged her daughter close, she couldn't hold it anymore. The tears came pouring out. But not everyone showed Alice kindness. One afternoon, a friend came to visit her at the station. She folded her arms and shook her head. "I warned you," she said sharply. "You're too good to people. Every time you see someone in need, you want to help. Now look at where it has gotten you." Alice sighed, her eyes tired but calm. "God will vindicate me," she said quietly. The friend scoffed. "Where is that God now that you're behind bars? Look, if you had just looked away like everyone else, you'd be at home now. You helped a boy. Now you might spend your life in prison if they don't find him." The word stabbed into Alice's heart like a knife, but she didn't reply. She just looked down and kept quiet. Deep inside, she was still hoping that somehow God would come through for her. What people didn't know was that Alice was one of the rarest kinds of people in the world. She could not see someone suffering and walk away. Even when she had nothing, she would look for a way to help. Yes, her kindness had gotten her into trouble before, but never like this. And even now, sitting in a cell with the weight of false accusation on her shoulders, she still believed she did the right thing. That evening, when the noise in the station died down and all was quiet, Alice fell on her knees and cried out to God. "Why me, Lord?" she wept. "I didn't do anything bad. I only helped a hungry child. Now my case is in court. Please, God, help me. If I remain here, who would look after my daughter and husband?" Tears rolled down her cheeks as she poured her heart out. She didn't stop there. She also prayed for Junior. "Wherever he is, Lord, please protect him. Keep him safe. Let no harm come to him. Let him find kindness, just like I try to show him." While Alice stayed locked inside the police cell, Junior was living all alone behind a house in Lagos. He roamed the streets during the day and slept behind the house at night. But this night something strange happened. Junior was too scared to sleep out in the open, so he crawled behind some flowers in front of the big, tall house and tried to rest there. In the middle of the night, as he was half asleep, he suddenly heard footsteps coming closer. His heart beat fast, but he stayed very still, hiding deep inside the flowers. Then a man appeared at the gate. The man wore a long black robe and had bare feet that barely made a sound on the ground. He started saying strange words, incantations, and poured some red powder carefully in front of the gate. The man kept calling out a name again and again. "Madam Charity must die. Madam Charity must not live past this week." The